Hey, hey, hey. Happy Monday. There we go. Correct microphone. All right. Yeah. Happy Monday. How are you guys doing? Yeah. Uh, intense week, I bet. It was eclipse week, so not surprised. What's up, Logan? Hey, Kat. Hey, Charlotte. And all you lurkers out there. Happy Monday. It was an intense week. So I'm hoping that you guys were gentle with yourselves and took care of your own emotional needs um, wherever you needed to do that, wherever and whenever you needed to do that. Yeah, if there's anything you guys want to share about the last week, if you notice the eclipse energies playing out in any particular way, um, yeah, feel free to leave a comment or whatever. And if you would like me to share it with everybody, put it in the live chat and then I'll share it. Okay, so this week, well, Venus has just moved into Cancer. All right, so we've got this soothing energy now. It's going to assist us a little bit um, and calm some of the aggravation and the inflammatory nature of Mars. So that's definitely a nice boon that's gonna kind of help smooth things over a little bit. But overall, actually, hey guys, what's up, Lacey? Hey, Gordy. Overall, there's not a ton of stuff happening this week except two kind of major, not really major, but two kind of important events that will definitely saturate the chart on those days, uh, which would be Mercury stationing direct at the end of the week. But more sooner than that, actually, we have the Sun joining with Uranus, so a Uranus Cazimi. Now, I don't know if you would apply the word Cazimi to an outer planet like Uranus, because unless you have binoculars or a telescope, you can't see Uranus. But I'm going to use it anyway. So it's a traditional term being applied to a modern planet, which is kind of how I vibe anyway. But yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. And yes, my birthday was really cool. I'm going to play with a new deck today. Really excited about it, actually. It was a gift, and it's a little bit silly. It's actually a really gorgeous deck, and you'll understand why it's a little bit silly. But I just kind of feel like I kind of want to play a little bit today. And it might be that Uranus energy, maybe. I don't know. What's up, Chance? Ooh, Logan coming in with the heavy Scorpio stuff. Yep, fair enough. Okay, so Logan says, hearing about multiple deaths around my circle and just a weird vibe. Noticed a lot of road rage. Makes sense. While traveling and just a very productive week in general. Cool. So you were super productive, but around you, people were experiencing that emotional turbulence. And then also hearing about multiple deaths. Yeah, that's intense. That can be a lot to deal with. Um, and that's often how it kind of goes with a lot of transits. Like you don't necessarily feel everything yourself on a personal level, but you will witness it around you. And just being able to stay centered, right? Just being able to breathe through it and stay as centered as possible. Um, and check in with your body, right? While people are losing their shit, or so to speak, around you is super powerful. It's really powerful. So anyway, I'm gonna share one of the things that I got, okay? So this is really exciting. So my boyfriend, okay, not interested in tarot, doesn't give a fuck. Okay. Every now and then I'll tease him of like, you see that right there, that thing that just happened? That was the Fool card or whatever. And he's like, okay, Kaylee. And I'm like, wow, they literally use this archetype exactly. Look, pull out the devil card. That's what we just saw on the screen. And he's like, okay, Kaylee. But He loves D&D. Okay, and I actually really love playing D&D with him. Um, and so he went out, and what did he get for me? A D&D tarot deck. It is the shit. Okay, it's actually so cool. So I'm gonna be playing with this today because it's fun. I think that rekindling our sense of adventure, especially after really intense transits, and being a little bit more playful is a good thing, right? We can't be all serious all the time. Oh, what's up, Jenny? Perfect timing. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna be playing with this D&D deck today. Super gorgeous art. Like I'll show you a couple cards. Oh, sweet. There's the Hermit. Check it out. It's like really beautiful, really well done art. And like the cardstock's nice and thick, and it's got this like kind of matte finish, so it won't show the glare on the screen because that's really annoying. I know it's such a cool present. I'm stoked. I'm like, new favorite thing. You win. Brownie points. Um, and also, okay, so it's a traditional tarot deck, right? 78 cards. It's a real tarot deck, four suits, court cards, major arcana, all that stuff. The suits are a little bit different though. They use strength, int, whiz, and charisma. That's the four suits. So I took a little bit and I'm like, oh god, okay, intelligence, that one's easy. That's obviously swords. All right. Well, charisma is your earth element, your disc element, which makes sense because in D&D, if you have a higher charisma, you can haggle and get lower prices and shit like that. Okay. Um, your whiz is your water, right? So wisdom is needed for some of the spell casting stuff and for like medicine checks and healing and that kind of thing. So wisdom. Uh, I'll just look. Oh, look at the Wheel of Fortune. There's freaking dragons, man. Um, oh my gosh. Sorry, one sec. Right, and your strength. I assumed strength would be discs, but no, it's actually fire. It's wands. So your inspiration, right? Your wands. That's your strength. It's kind of cool. Just pure willpower. Intelligence is swords. Yeah, so that's really cool. That's the four suits. So really fun. Definitely gonna be playing with that and uh exploring that a little bit. So anyway, in the book that it came with, it's got like the regular interpretations, and they're kind of their sort of Wizards of the Coast, so a little bit wokish, but still their interpretations of the tarot cards, and ways to incorporate a card into a campaign. Okay, so if you wanted to add a little twist to a campaign, you could draw a card, and then like or design a campaign or an instance around like a spread basically. So for example, on the front of the box is the Hierophant, which is super interesting. They used a female for the Hierophant. That's the only gender swap that I've noticed. But anyway, the Hierophant, what it says for her, let me go back to it in the book. So traditional meaning, using spiritual understanding and wisdom to perceive the world. D&D campaign instance, you find a holy book written by a wise sage that contains a cryptic secret hidden within it. I'm like, yo, that's sick. Okay, so anyway, I'm really excited about that. So we're gonna be playing with that. Um, yeah, let's rekindle some adventure, basically. But before the tarot, you guys know the drill. So if you're new here, welcome. Hi, my name's Kaylee. This is Moonday Tarot, and shout out to all the OGs in the chat. What's up, Ruma? Um, yeah, so I'm going to talk about a little bit of the astrology for the week, and then I'm going to break down each of the signs and talk about one specific transit, definitely, and then pull some tarot cards, and that's where the D&D deck will come in. So let me share my screen. back. All right. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Dun 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 dun. So actually, let me just back this up to. Yeah, that's perfect. Right now. So right now in Calgary, Alberta, we have Leo on the rise, with Lilith actually. I think that's mean Lilith, not true Lilith, but Lilith right on the rise, with Jupiter culminating. That's really badass. So really cool. It is day of the moon, hour of the sun. So that's kind of neat. We're in the hour of the sun while Leo's rising. That's a fun coincidence, I guess. Alrighty. So what do I want to say about today? All right. So first of all, Venus has just moved into Cancer, right? I brushed on this briefly last week, but the main focus of last week was let's talk about the eclipse and how crazy that is. But Venus moving into Cancer, I know I talked about it, but I'm just gonna it gets an honorary mention right now, especially because over the next half a day or whatever, Moon will be opposing this Venus, right? So Venus in the first decan of Cancer, these first 10 degrees, let me zoom in, these first 10 degrees, this first decan is actually ruled by Venus. So Venus in her own decan in Cancer, very soothing and calming influence, right? Like I mentioned at the beginning of our chat here. Mars has been inflaming this area of your chart. Or, I mean, you can see it as an inflammation or you can see it as motivation, right? It can play out both ways, honestly, on the same day. In the same instance, it can be both super inflammatory and frustrating energy, and it can also motivate you to get moving and take action, right? So anyway, Venus moving through here brings a sense of beauty, brings a sense of harmony, and a desire to um, a desire and ability to mediate the more difficult energies of what's happening in this area of life and soothe it a little bit. So really helpful. We're gonna get an opportunity as the moon moves from Sagittarius into Capricorn. As soon as it crosses over that cusp, the moon will be exactly opposing Venus. So we'll get an opportunity to really check in with that, with these houses, really, the Cancer Capricorn axis, which obviously the house that this falls in will change depending on your individual rising sign, but in general, we can look for themes of, hey, um, how am I nurturing myself? Am I am I being graceful with myself emotionally? And is there is there something that I need to be a little bit more disciplined about? Um, and maybe actually, can I structure this in some way that's more helpful rather than hindering for me? Right. Alrighty. So tomorrow on the 9th, we have this Sun Uranus conjunction. So the Uranus Kazemi, you could call it, to use the traditional words for that. What is a Kazemi? We talk about this a lot. But a Kazemi is essentially a planet joining with the sun. It's in the heart of the sun. So Uranus, being this really unusual and innovative energy, being lit up and translated to us through sunlight in the sun Taurus. Um, this is not the first time Sun's joined with Uranus in Taurus, right? Every single year as Uranus has been here, we've experienced this. But now we're approaching the end of the second decan, right? And moving into the third decan. So I want you guys to think about what area you've seen a lot of changes in lately. Right? So this would be the Taurus Scorpio axis. What area you've seen a lot of changes happen in lately. Where you've been innovating, or alternatively, a huge word for Uranus is actually liberation. and freedom, individuation, actually. So the sun joining with Uranus is really, in a major way, literally highlighting for us where and how we can individuate further, specifically through this house that Taurus rules in your chart. Um, so when it comes to the natural world, when it comes to embodiment, when it comes to, I'm just naming Taurus themes, when it comes to beauty and fertility and growth and resources, um, are are these things helping us or holding us back as far as our own individuation process goes? And perhaps, right, perhaps today, tomorrow, and the day after, but especially tomorrow when the energy is most potent, we might have some kind of like opportunity, or see some kind of like, it's kind of like, it can be like an aha moment, similar to how Mercury is often an aha moment, but Uranus is more nebulous, more vague, more elusive. We might have some kind of aha moment, specifically around our Taurus house. Yeah, it's a really powerful word because it's a powerful process. It's a difficult process. It is not comfortable. It is not fun. Often, often it is not fun. I feel like the more you step into an authentic sense of self and the more you express yourself authentically, the more fun it can be, right? It's like embracing the cringe, as Peace Dealer likes to say, embrace the cringe, right? And especially when we're talking about Uranus, okay? Uranus is a cringy energy, right? So the more you embrace that cringe, the better. It's, uh, yeah. So yeah. Anyway, some things to chew on, some things to think about for you guys. Um, I personally feel like the Uranus transit of Taurus has been one of the many things that has been contributing to this really weird stuff we're seeing in culture right now, where people are trying to, ultimately, they're trying to be individuals, they're trying to individuate, but they're doing it through unnatural means. Um, y'all know what I'm talking about. And it's actually not individuating at all. So I think that for for us and for anybody that's trying to bring conscious awareness, the sun, to this process of individuation, Uranus, it's really important for us to be tapping into the physical body, Taurus, and Earth, natural beauty, natural medicines, natural processes, and find what's true about those things, right? Taurus can be literally working with natural materials, plant matter, plant material, but also like leather, right? Like leather's a natural material. Wool and cotton and hemp and anything that grows in nature that is literally natural. Working with those things. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, really cool energy, kind of fun. Um, we can talk about we can talk about what house Taurus is for you guys for sure, because the other big thing we got going on this week is the Mercury station. So let's move to that chart. So Mercury will be stationing direct on Sunday, Sunday for North America. Okay, so Sunday at 9:17 a.m. Mercury Mountain Time, 9:17 Mountain Time. Mercury will be stationing direct. So if you're in Europe, that'll be Sunday night or Monday, depending on where you are. But anyway, Mercury stationing direct. Now, what can we say about this? There's a lot. This house of yours, okay, Taurus, this house, this area, we've been looking at essentially how we use this house. What are our values? As a big Taurus word. I mean, The second house really is values and valuables, but when talking to large groups of people, everybody's going to have a different second house. I got to kind of simplify a little bit. So, what are our values? How much do we value the can we find value in physical things? And here's a question for you guys to chew on, okay, as Jupiter's getting ready to move in here. How does our relationship with physical things actually reflect a spiritual relationship as well? When you take action in the physical world, does it have spiritual ramifications? This is a question for you to think about. When you take care of your physical body, right? And I don't mean obsess about it. I don't mean surgically alter it. I don't mean become narcissistic, right? I'm talking about just basic self-care. When you take care of your physical body, is there a spiritual ramification, right? Is there a spiritual benefit or consequence when we don't take care of it? I think this has a lot to do with this Mercury retrograde in Taurus. That is hilarious. Yeah, Scott, you're welcome. It was a pleasure to talk with you today. $100%. Also, okay, this is just so funny. Oh my god, Logan, that's really hilarious. Are you gonna spin it? Like, are you gonna hand spin it? How are you going to process that? Because I gotta know. These are things I need to know. Okay. So now I want to talk a little bit about this first decan of Taurus. All right, so this first 10 degrees of Taurus. So decans is something that I've been diving a little bit more into and really like thinking about and trying to decode and researching. I like adjectives. But anyway, this first decan of Taurus, all right, in reverse Chaldean order is ruled by Mercury. So this is Mercury in his own decan. As far as the triplicity rules go, this is Venus. So these first 10 degrees is co-ruled by Mercury and Venus. The card associated with it. Do I have it handy? The Five of Pentacles is associated with that first decan. I want to pull it up in my other deck because it's a very clear image. I'm sure some of you, if not all of you, are at least familiar with the card. But anyway, so one of the images associated with this decan. Let me pull my face up here. One of the images associated with this decan is a a naked man plowing the field. Considering that it is Mercury, inherently we're talking about planning something. Specifically, oh, there it is. Specifically, we're planning out something that is going to, well, ideally sustain us in the future. Okay. So, literally speaking, right? Not everybody here is going to garden, right? But naked gardening, 100% Stacy. That's that first decan. Naked gardening. So literally, not everybody here is going to garden, but those of you that do, you'll get this metaphor immediately. In order to make sure that you have enough to last you through the next couple of seasons, into the next year for sure, and ensure that you'll be well fed and healthy, you need to plan it, right? You can't just plant randomly. I mean, you can, but it's not going to be as successful as if you specifically know how to divvy up the land in such a way and you've got an idea of what's going to bear fruit, the cycles of when things actually begin fruiting. So you're not immediately overwhelmed by all of the things all at once, right? You don't want to do that. You want to succession plant certain things, right? You don't want to like not be able to get to a bunch of stuff and then it go bad on you. That's probably the worst thing ever, personally. It's like, oh, I have all of this abundance and now it's rotting because I am not fast enough. Um, I didn't preserve it quickly enough, or I literally couldn't get to it because I was overwhelmed, right? So you want to space things out, plan it properly. You want to make sure that what you're planting together actually goes well together and that it doesn't rob nutrients from each other. You want to be able to understand when certain fields should lie fallow and maybe just have a cover crop on them for the season, because maybe they're not producing and the soil needs more amendments. Like this kind of thing, right? This is the first decan of Taurus, is the planning phase. This is the planning phase. Okay, hold on. I gotta go back to the chat. Okay. Logan says, I really don't know what to do with it. All that wool. Fair enough. So much on my plate and it's such a tedious process. Yeah. Don't have fancy tools. Fair enough. I don't think you need super fancy tools. But I mean, it's not like the wool's gonna go bad, right? So it's okay if you don't get to it right away. Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so first, second, and third decan totally colors things for sure. I have enjoyed really looking at the decans associated with my rising sign and some of my planets too, but it's kind of like for like an initial natal chart reading, sometimes that can be helpful. I don't like giving too much homework right away, but sometimes it's very obvious how that's playing out. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, if you look at your chart, like Ruma, I didn't send you a copy of your chart, but you have your birth info, so you could go to literally any free website. Astro-seek.com is my current favorite one because it has so many different tools, and then just see where that ascendant is. So I'll show you this chart again here, right? So this is the first decan of Cancer. This is the second decan of Cancer. So the second decan of Cancer would be, if this were a natal chart, that would be where their ascendant lies. And yeah, 100% it does change the flavor, right? Like first, second, and third decan, if your ascendant or your sun is in each of those things, like they are going to have a different flavor, 100%. Okay, bring it back. But anyway, focusing on Taurus right now. Okay. Da, 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 da. Kat says, I've got my pumpkins, watermelon, squash, sunflowers, onions, and collards. Oh, you messed up the Three Sisters. We also tried Three Sisters last year, and we didn't plan it appropriately. That's this first decan. You gotta plan it appropriately. We didn't time it. Well enough. Like, we struggled getting the corn into the ground soon enough. And then some of the corn that we planted didn't sprout. That was really frustrating. And then you're supposed to put the beans in once the corn has like gone 6 inches tall or so that it will actually be strong enough to support the pole beans as they're growing. Fucked that up. Squash did great though. The squash did great. No problems with the squash. Totally fucked up the corn. So yeah, that's a thing. So so there's lots that you learn through this process, right? But anyway, hey, what's up? What's up, FRC? Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so what else do I want to say about this? This first decan of Taurus, where Mercury is stationing, has there's this energy of both worry and planning, right? And really, when it comes down to it, you will plan more thoroughly and pay more attention if you are a little bit worried and a little bit stressed out. Like the energy of anxiety and worry actually serves a really important purpose. We would not get off of our asses if there was no nothing to worry about. You know what I mean? Uh, so there's that side of it. With it also being co-ruled by Venus, there's also this energy here of wanting. I mean, especially if you've been successful in the past and you've attracted a lot of stuff to you, like say 150 pounds of raw wool, raw unprocessed wool. There's also this energy here of like, well, I don't need to worry about it actually because I have enough. I can coast. We're good. Um, so there's this little bit of a battle here. And it's kind of interesting how it is reflected in the Five of Pentacles card. So we have these people out front who are broken homeless. They're in front of a church. So we quite literally see both sides of this. There's people that didn't plan. There's people that only coasted and maybe didn't ask for help or planned really poorly or didn't learn from mistakes that they'd made in the past and just continued to carry on. Like, yeah, they continue to just carry on. And then you have the total opposite side of it of people that did plan, that probably had some connections, but we don't need to go into the conspiracy side of it, okay? That's not important. They probably knew people, right? But still, they planned and have excess now, right? So there's both sides of this. Yes, timing is super important. Nice. Raised beds are dope. I love that we can just talk about gardening. Yep. Yeah. The squash was great, and we had really good, a really good squash harvest. It was pretty badass. And yeah, anxiety and excitement are literally the same chemicals in your body. They are literally the exact same chemicals. It's just about your perspective. So you can take that anxiety, turn it into excitement, and be like, okay, what am I growing this year? What seeds am I planting? This is exciting. What did I learn from last year? Right? What fucked up? Also, what kind of crazy weather patterns do I need to account for? Of course, there's going to be new variables this year that are going to be different from last year. But how can I account for some of those and maybe mediate a little bit? Yes. That's cool. I don't know what the NRCS is, but regardless, that's exciting. It's all about the soil health. It all comes down to the soil health. How healthy is your soil? How many microbes are in your soil? Are they the right microbes? It gets super nerdy and scientific, and I love it. And I don't understand any of it, but but it's cool. Okay. Yeah. So obviously, you guys understand the metaphor. We're taking this, okay, and we're applying it to whatever house Taurus rules in your chart. All right. So let's say you happen to be an Aries rising. This is literally about finances and the other things that you own. So how's your budgeting? That's the planning process. Do you have stuff saved for retirement, right? That's the long-term aspects of this. Do you have enough money to meet your bills now? Are you coasting, right? Like that's how to apply that to the second house. But also on another level, since that's just surface level second house, are you living in alignment to your values? Are you being true to your own values? Is there some adjustments that need to be made around which values you're actually prioritizing and which ones you're actually living up to, right? That's another thing, right? So yeah, it depends on what house this is, but we can all take these concepts and think about it. Now, here's the thing. Mercury stationing direct in this first decan of Taurus is literally going to help us plan about what seeds we want to plant because Jupiter is coming through fucking right now. Okay, so Jupiter changes signs next week. At the end of next week, the 16th, I think. No, middle. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure it's the 16th. So next week. And Jupiter is about expansion, is about fertility. And then in the sign of Taurus, I hope that you're planning. I hope that you're planning like before now, okay? But if you weren't planning already, plan now. What seeds are you planting in Taurus? What seeds are you planting in this house? Because Jupiter is going to come through and water it for you, essentially. He's going to be applying fertilizer to it. He's going to be taking bone meal and like natural fertilizer, compost, and adding it to whatever you've planted here. So I hope you have planned accordingly. Yeah. Yeah, J-Lo. You're the best, J-Lo. I love you. Badass. National Resource Conservation Service. Oh, it's a government. Yeah, okay, but still free talks. I like free talks. Yep. You can grow moss. Yep. Okay, so exciting stuff. I think that's really exciting. So for each of you, Taurus is going to represent a different house in your chart, right? And that's kind of what I want to go over today. Yeah, any questions? Yeah, you can grow moss and make scotch. Yeah, it's crazy because this Uranus Sun conjunction in Taurus at 18 degrees and 56 minutes, so the 18th degree, we're planting a seed there, right? We're also trying to plan things and look at things and make sure that we have, divided up our time, our resources, and our space accordingly with this first decan, Mercury stationing direct in this first decan. And then when Jupiter moves in, all of the things that we've been working on in this Taurus house are about to go. Wah! So, yeah, Jupiter doesn't bring guarantees, right? He doesn't bring guarantees, but he brings opportunities. So there's going to be opportunities opening up, and it depending on what kinds of seeds you've been planting and how much you've been working with this Taurus house, there could be more or less opportunities, right? So get to work. It's just standard. Get to work. A Ben. Totally. Yep. Uranus is very unexpected. Typically, it's like it's unexpected and unpredictable. So that's fun. FRC, I'm already tired. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. So I think I'm going to put this on this chart. Yeah. So for the 14th, the Mercury station chart is the one that I'm going to be talking about. But I'll be talking about both of those transits simultaneously. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Any questions? Any questions before I really dive in here and go into the signs? Oh my gosh, FRC. Dude, me too. I'm exhausted. Honestly, I'm really tired today. Yeah. My birthday was Friday, and then my man's mom's birthday was yesterday too, so it's like just all week. There's so many people. I like my quiet time. Okay. I like time to myself. This is like a social overload for me this week. So I'm like, I'm ready for a nap. I've been saying that for like 2 days. I'm like, I need a nap. Okay. Okay, so you guys know what's up. So I'm gonna start going through the signs. Gonna talk a little bit about the astrology and then pull some tarot cards. And like I said, we're playing a little bit today. I got a D&D deck, a D&D tarot deck. That's gonna be fun. uh, I'm stoked about the artwork. Honestly, it's gorgeous. I'm gonna read what the instance is in the D&D deck as well. Like what's the traditional meaning, but also what is the D&D instance meaning. Because I think it's hilarious and it'll be fun, and who knows if it'll make any sense at all. And I kind of love that for the for tomorrow's Uranian energy. I think it's perfect. Um, so please tell me if something like this actually happens to you, because I'll lose my shit. Um, oh, dude, I wanted to sleep the whole day. I was like, why did I schedule a stream today? This is stupid. I just want to go to bed. Um, and then I couldn't. I had obligations, and isn't that crazy? It's like it's my birthday, but like I have obligations, and I gotta go be seen by people. Like, pff, boo. Not that I'm resentful. Just yeah. I know. I love new decks. Oh my gosh, it's probably one of my guiltiest pleasures. I love getting new decks. She helped me with my website. Okay, this woman knows what's up. She helped me with my website. Um, yeah, yeah, and super grateful. Yeah, easy for him to remember the birthdays though, right? It's like, oh, okay, you're 2 days before my mom. Got it, done. Yeah, she feeds us good too. She's like, you guys need more food, and we're like, fridge is full, thank you. Holy shit. Yep. Oh my gosh. Okay, enough about me. I'm here to talk about you guys. Okay, so you guys know the drill. I go through the signs in reverse order, because that's just what I do. Again, we're using a new deck today, so it'll be fun. And if you want a personal reading, instructions are below. Dun, 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 dun. Pisces. I feel like I'm supposed to say more before I get into this, but I can't. I literally can't think of anything else that I'm supposed to say. So let's just get started. All right, so Pisces. For you guys, Taurus is your third house. So for Pisces rising, um, the seeds that you've been planting, this crazy ass Uranian energy, is coming through in the skills that you're developing. All right, skills that you're developing, and tools that you might have or might be creating for yourself. So, third house can also be talking about our communication style, and like things like social media and whatnot. So, uh, when it comes to how to plan in this area, the Mercury retrograde period, the Kazemi, and now the stationing direct, whatever kinds of tools maybe you've been struggling with or fumbling with, it's really just the Mercury retrograde is just trying to help you reorient yourself to how you use those tools, right? The tool itself, the tool isn't what has the power, right? You actually have the power. You actually have that. That is, it's coming from within. Okay, it's not coming from an external thing. The external thing is just assisting you in channeling that power, right? Depending on what we're talking about here, but I think you understand what I mean. Especially Pisces. I can speak super vaguely to Pisces and they get it, so I like that. But anyway, this crazy Uranian energy happening tomorrow, and then the Mercury stationing direct. Why do I what I would say to Pisces, a Pisces rising specifically, right, is be careful. be mindful of what you're speaking into existence. Um, and maybe there's something here about being a little bit more thorough about planning how you speak to the world, right? Your social media presence. Third house can be tied to marketing and shit like that. So um, there's a fun and unpredictable energy here. But at the same time, this Mercury stationing is like, okay, now it's time to take my ideas, my plans, and this like kind of lightning bolt of inspiration and implement them in a practical and grounded manner, which is that fixed earth energy. Um, Perhaps there's some tools that you're developing that have to do with, I don't know, like I want to use the term like self care. I don't know. I kind of feel like self care is more of a second house thing, but at the same time, in order to walk the Pisces path, in order to walk the path of empathy and compassion and mm, healing through these water-based arts, we need to develop the Taurus as a tool. So we need to develop embodiment. We need to develop a relationship with our uh, earthly nature as well in order to stay grounded, right? That's the third house, first house relationship. So these are things that I want you to think about, Pisces. How grounded are you right now? What tools have you begun using? Uh, and what tools do you want to grow, right? What techniques do you want to grow? Because keep in mind, Jupiter's going to be moving through here. All these seeds that we're planting, all the things that we're planning right now is going to get a huge boost of fertilizer, okay? This is literally the perfect metaphor for Taurus, and I love it. Um, so, things to think about for Pisces. Dude, right? I know. Like, but I can't. Yeah, dude. Definitely. Yeah. It's like, I don't know, um all this heavy water energy, right? Mars being in Cancer, and then the full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, and then Saturn in Pisces is like really calling us inward and down. Um yeah, I think honor what your body needs, but also be careful of escaping through sleep. I can definitely do that too, so I'll just sleep instead of dealing with something. So just be mindful of that. Okay, so anyway, that's Pisces. And all this like all this like downward and heavy emotional energy is another reason why I want to use the D&D deck, because it's like, okay, my readings have been really serious lately, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, I want to lighten it up a little bit today anyway. Okay, so I need my board, so one sec. Sorry about that. Should have muted. Okay, there we go. Apologies. Alrighty. Ruma, I like that you took that approach. I like that you took that approach. Um, I know personally that I will self sabotage by not doing those things, uh, and then hate it later. So I'm glad that you're doing that. Okay, so Pisces. Ooh, Pisces, you got the 8 of Wisdom. So there's this elven warrior, and it looks like he's protecting himself from something. So what does it say? Okay, so the Eight of Wisdom is about finding a way out of past pain by having faith that something better is waiting for you. The instance here is graves of a cemetery appear to be robbed, but some say it was the dead that dug their way out. Dun, dun, dun. So this in a traditional deck is the Eight of Cups, right? So I love that description, finding a way out of past pain by having faith that something better is waiting for you. 100%. Um, yeah, I really don't feel like I need to elaborate on that. I think it's pretty straightforward. Um, and it makes me think also of Saturn. Okay, it's supposed to be lighter, and then the first card I pull is like Eight of Cups. That's not light at all, you guys. Oh gosh. But anyway, Pisces. It reminds me that Saturn is in your first house, in the first decan, which is what this card is tied to, astrologically speaking. So there is a little bit of a heavier energy there, right? That is something that you're dealing with right now. And actually, I just noticed. Check this out. I literally just noticed this. So right this second, Saturn's at 5 degrees and 55 arc minutes. I don't know if you can see that on the screen. It's kind of small, but 5 degrees and 55 arc minutes. That's neat. There's some fun number magic there. Yeah. So Saturn, ironically, we were talking about napping. Saturn is the power to say no, and Saturn can literally sometimes really be encouraging you to just like stop what you're doing and take a rest. Like put it to the side for a minute. Don't focus on it. Chill for a minute. Refresh yourself by napping or meditating or going and hugging a tree after you've asked it for permission 3 days previous. If you guys remember the other week. Um, and um, and literally in this case, have faith that there's something better coming. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of a break or a little bit of a rest to come back to something with new eyes, to be like, oh, okay, that's actually what's needed here. There you go. I know, I love this deck already. It's pretty sweet. Okay, Aquarius. So for you, Aquarius, Taurus is your fourth house. So for you, a lot of this energy is playing out either at home, like literally in your housing situation where you're living, where you want to live, but also it can be playing out with family members, um, a parental figure, or just other close family members. So, uh, interesting. I know I talked quite a bit last week about feeling through. Ha, it's not what I meant to say, but kind of healing ancestral stuff, and how when you're working through healing yourself, you're actually healing everybody that came before you and after you. This is something that I want you to consider, Aquarius, as you are planting your seeds and thinking about how you want to live and where you want to live and where you want to put roots down. So here's the thing: to walk the Aquarius path, you are rooted in Taurus. You are anchored in Taurus. So to be the one that assists humanity through individuation, which is a really kind of weird way to put it, but that's Aquarius. In order to innovate in the first place, you have to be grounded and anchored in what is natural, what is beautiful, what is abundant. So this Mercury stationing direct, planning out how things are going to look in your house, or literally taking a little bit extra time to plan out the rest of the environment around the house as well. Like, what does the neighborhood look like? Which is more a third house, but still, what does the neighborhood look like? Are my needs met? Is there some natural beauty nearby? right? What does the yard look like? Can I plant stuff in my yard? um, is this going to physically help me physically sustain myself? Um, and also, the weird, the weird and kind of fun and unexpected Uranus Sun conjunction, like because this house is a hidden house, the fourth house. You might not notice this on the surface. This is more likely to play out. Um, I mean, if you're not looking at where you're living right now, right? If you're not trying to figure out where you're living, then this is more likely to play out on an internal basis. As the fourth house is about our deepest held desires, our deepest held needs. So the Sun Uranus conjunction is like, okay, what am quite likely Aquarius, actually, you're feeling a need to break away from ancestral stuff. All right, maybe you need to break away or liberate yourself from some pattern, right? Some karmic pattern that's been playing out through your family line for generations. The sun can bring vitality and power through this Uranian archetype of liberation. And Mercury stationing here is like, okay, if this is what we want to do, right? If this is one of the intentions here, then where do we need to be to do that? Is there any place that you need to go back to in order to finish processing? Right? Sometimes literally going back to, literally traveling back to a place can essentially help trigger us, which is what we need to do in order to heal it consciously. When Jupiter moves here into your fourth house, you might quite literally be considering going on a trip to an ancestral homeland. So Mercury stationing here can be like, all right, I'm going to plan this out and make sure that I have what is required in order to make this trip. And then Jupiter moving through here will be like, okay, now we can do it. So some things to think about for you, Aquarius. Yeah, you go work out. Love it. We'll be here. Unless you're going to work out while listening to tarot, that'd be kind of cool. Um, yeah, I'll let myself go a bit in winter too. I'm glad you've been working out. All right, so Aquarius, what do we got for you? Okay. How? The Knight of Wisdom. Oh. So on a traditional deck, this is the Knight of Cups. Let us see what it says about the Knight of Wisdom. Okay, so trusting your passion, allowing yourself to dream big, and imagining the best happening for you. Oh, I like that. There are whispers that the mayor of the town was seen signing a pact with an imp. Dun dun dun. Okay, but for real. um, the Knight of Cups or the Knight of Wisdom here is kind of beautiful. So, Aquarius, while you are diving into your ancestry and thinking about what keeps you rooted and grounded, having this more positive outlook about what you want to see for yourself in this area, it can be really helpful. And Mercury stopping and stationing and then turning direct can, I think, if you use that intentionally as a chance to reorient how you think about these things, that'll be really helpful. Oh, good. Good, good, good. You know what? Do exactly that. That's. I'm glad. I'm glad. Go do that. Go do that. Love you, girl. Take care of yourself. Monday, Monday. Of all of the weeks that you guys could choose to bail and take care of your body, this would be the one. So I'm glad. It's Capricorn. For you guys, Capricorn, this is the 5th house. Whew. So we are talking essentially about your creativity and risk. For some of you, this has to do with a hobby, an artistic project, or like a small business that you're running, right? Mercury stationing direct. Use this energy to really plan out some of your next steps, right? Remember what I talked about with this deck and being about planning into the future to get ready for the boom, right? So that you are also ready for the next time that things get scarce. All right, so do a little bit more. Just be mindful of what you're planning, right? How you're planting those seeds. When it comes to like literally artistic projects, maybe with the Uranus Sun conjunction, it's like, okay, how can I really express myself in a super authentic way? Because the 5th house has a lot to do with our own self-expression and our inner child, really. The Sun Uranus conjunction here is like, I want to liberate my inner child and allow it to shine as brightly as it can. So being authentic with others about what you're interested in and what brings you joy, that's 5th house, is really important. Also, just think a little bit about how some of the things that you're doing, how with a little bit of planning, a little bit of foresight, and maybe even like sticking to a proper schedule, or just planning things a couple of days in advance, helps you get ahead rather than panicking and doing things last minute. I had that experience. Okay, good. Yes. Yes. I'm glad you're still hanging out at FRC. This show isn't the same without you guys watching live. It really is 10 million times more enjoyable for me as well. So I'm glad you're still hanging out. Okay, so anyway, Capricorn, I literally had this experience. So, it's before Mercury stationing direct, but still, I took a few minutes on my Sunday morning because I knew I was going to be busy for the rest of Sunday, and I knew that I had a reading this morning before my live stream. I was like, okay, let's be responsible, Kaylee. Let's take my own freaking advice and get the live stream set up and do the art for it and get it set up like way ahead of time rather than last minute slapping something together. And you know what? I felt so fucking good. I felt so good after I was done. I was like, yeah, that's right. It's scheduled. It's posted. I can go and like relax now. And that's usually how it goes for me personally as a Cap rising. It's like I have to do a little bit of work and then I can chill. I cannot chill until I've done that. Otherwise, I'm just stressed and worried about it for no good reason. Anyway. Okay, so interesting. All right, so Capricorn. This is the card I pulled for myself yesterday, actually. The Page of Charisma. So in traditional decks, this is the Page of Pentacles. Page of Charisma says, getting into action and rekindling a sense of adventure with even the small things. I love that. Mercury represents small things, okay? And the 5th house is risk and fun. So what small things can you do for yourself that are fun? But also, can you turn small tasks or seemingly unimportant tasks into a quest? Yes. Can you make it a quest? If you can make it a quest, it'll be way more fun to do. So that's a thing. But also realize what isn't working. So what have you been doing creatively or in the past that's caused more anxiety than it's worth? And perhaps there's some adjustments that you can make there. So my example was literally perfect. Getting the live stream ready the day before, right? Instead of on the morning of. Like, it's so simple, but it makes a huge difference. And turning grocery shopping into a quest, like all of a sudden it's 10 times more fun just because it's now a game, right? Yeah. That's a thing. Alrighty. I love a good quest. Okay, so speaking of a good quest, Sagittarius. Speaking of the quest that describes Sag. Okay. So Sagittarius, for you guys, Taurus is your 6th house. So we are talking about your everyday tasks, routines, your health. This is a difficult house to be planning in. Okay, it's a difficult house to plan stuff for. The 6th house traditionally. Okay, so back of the bus. In traditional aspect theory, from the ascendant, so from you as a Sag, it is really difficult to see the 6th house. It's like it's hidden from you. It's in the peripheral. You can see the 7th house, no problem, but the 6th and the 8th, there's a little bit of a challenge to see those houses. And it makes sense, right? Oftentimes we have health stuff, for example, sneak up on us, and it's not until there's like really obvious symptoms that we're like, oh, there's something wrong I need to address. So I love that we already had a Sag rising in the chat. Like, actually, I'm gonna work out while I listen. Hell yeah, do that. Do that. I love it. This whole Mercury retrograde through the 6th house thing is like, okay, what have I done for myself in the past as far as my health and my routine goes that helped me feel good in my body? And do I need to start doing that again, or do I need to do something different? So Mercury retrograde is the perfect time to experiment with that kind of thing. I love it. That's literally perfect. Because now it's like, yes, that actually does help me feel good. And this Mercury turning direct is going to help you plant seeds for future success, right? So keep doing exactly that. I love to hear it. Yeah, the Sun-Uranus conjunction in the 6th house is a little bit more difficult to interpret because we're talking about a hidden house and an unusual and unpredictable energy. I often find that a Kazemi is not necessarily a guaranteed event, but more like there's a window of opportunity, and it might present itself, it might not. But I don't know. In your case, I would say keep an eye open, keep your eyes open, Sagittarius, for some kind of teacher or somebody that can show you something that otherwise you wouldn't be able to see on your own. Yeah, and maybe they use some kind of like advanced science to do it, or they just have a really unique approach or something along those lines. So I think about I yeah, FRC, exactly. I know. I'm thinking about you while I'm talking. It's funny. I'm not trying to, though, I swear. I'm trying to just keep it to just all Sagittarius rising, but I'm like, well. Yeah. It's amusing to me that you're getting somebody from the government, so a sun type figure, because they're authority figures, a sun type figure, to show you something about soil health. Taurus. So that you can better work with the environment around you, and better work those lands. And the 6th house, so another interpretation for the 6th house for you guys to kind of chew on, is it's your great work, right? Um it's not just about health. It's not just about your routine. It's a great work. It's some great service that you are committing to. And it's really fascinating once you start thinking about how that feeds into your 10th house of your reach, right? Your career. They're enshrined to each other, right? So there's this great work that you're working on. And yeah, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after that, there might be some really cool, innovative insight that you have, right? Somebody drops a little nugget of wisdom. We're talking about your ninth house ruler here. Someone drops a little nugget of wisdom for you, like, oh, damn, okay, that's genius. I'm going to incorporate that, and that will assist me in my great work, my service. Okay. Oh, dude, Canva is the bomb. I love Canva. I pay for Canva and I don't even feel bad. Okay, so we're getting a lot of cups cards. I swear to God, I'm shuffling it. But anyway, for you, Sagittarius, you have the Six of Wisdom. Yeah. FRC says, I'm having high hopes for a goose coming to me this week and giving me a quest. Well. So traditional decks, this is the Six of Cups. With the Six of Wisdom, I love this. I hope you're visited by a goose too. Oh, that's good. Okay. So, the Six of Wisdom says our ability to become a child and play in the world, a return to innocence. That's such a cute way of looking at this card. Ugh, yeah. Are you able to play? Do you know how to play? That's cute as fuck. Okay, so the instance described here says you find a gem. When you turn towards a distant mountain, the gem pulsates and glows. Ooh. This deck is the shit. Oh man. I'm breaking this out the next time I go play D&D. I don't even care. I'm just going to start shuffling it and just look at the DM and be like, oh my god. Ugh. Okay. Scorpio. Yep. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so Scorpio. Sorry, I'm still laughing. Mentally. Okay. So Scorpio, for you guys, Taurus is your seventh house. So you guys have been going through really major changes, both in your identity and how you see yourself, and in pretty much every single area of life. Having eclipses in the South Node in your first house can radically change your path in life. And really, to walk the Scorpio path, this is about healing yourself in order to heal the world. That's really what it is. You go through transformation often, right? You probably experience the most physical transformation out of everybody. Oh my god. So the partner sign for you is Taurus. All right, so seventh house. Um, when it comes to partnership, right? In order, in order to have something that balances out the transformation and the change and the healing and the deep feelings of Scorpio, you need a partner that is grounded, that is real, that is earthy and full of natural beauty, right? Both of these signs are super sensual in nature, all right? So you need someone that is equally as sensual. So anyway, this is an interesting pile up in the seventh house. Um, I would hope that the Scorpio risings have been doing a lot of self work, right? 'Cause you need to be doing all that self work in order to be in a healthy relationship. And ideally, the South Node transit through your first house has been helping you get rid of aspects of yourself or habits, or just ways of being that have been unhelpful to you in the past. So now, as Mercury is stationing, and as we're getting ready for Jupiter to ingress into Taurus, and we've got this super weird Uranus Sun conjunction. Should somebody new enter into your life, right? Should somebody new enter into your life, if you have been really working on clearing out the gunk and the shit, literally, Scorpio rules the sphincter. Uh, a different kind of archetype, a different kind of person can enter into your life. Now, of course, seventh house is not just marriage; it's business partnerships, it's one-on-one relationships in general. So if you have any kind of like a consultation business, or what you do for work involves like sitting down and working with people one-on-one, you could be meeting some really interesting and unusual people. So that could be fun. That could be really fun. There's something about the people that you're meeting, the people that you're beginning contracts with, that is inherently weird or unusual or totally different and innovative. They are individuals, right? They are definitely unique beings. And it doesn't come from an artificial place, it comes from a grounded place, right? Now, the Mercury stationing direct is like, okay, if there has been any contracts that you've been uncertain about, right? Mercury stationing direct, seventh house, literally the contracts are ready to go ahead now. So that's one interpretation for sure. But also, if you've been like trying to consider for yourself how you want to show up in partnership, and you're not quite sure, or there's just different things that you wanted to break down about yourself while in partnership, Uranus stationing direct can just assist you with the integration process. Um, Having the insight is one step, right? Having the experience, the aha moment is one step. Integrating it is another entirely different step, but just as equally as important as the realization moment. Okay. Word. Yep. Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, I'm like, we're gonna have fun with this super light deck. Then I'm like, serious messages only. Yep. Oh, dude, Scorpio. Okay. All right. All right. So the shakeups are going to continue because y'all got the Tower card. The shakeups are going to continue. They're not quite finished yet. There's something that still needs to be deconstructed, or is you're still in the deconstruction phase before the rebuilding phase. I love it. It's a freaking Hydra. So cool. Okay. So the Tower card. Dun dun dun. So things are still shifting, basically, is what that's saying, right? All right. So the collapse of beliefs or material structures that we hold dear. Dun dun dun. It is the non-resistance where we can find peace and wisdom, right? So that's an important message for Scorpio. Trying to control it, trying to resist the change, especially a Sun Uranus conjunction in your seventh house. There's gonna be stuff that's gonna go down that you can't control, or necessarily even predict because it's fucking Uranus. Um, Easily one of the planets that makes me the most mad when I'm trying to do predictions. Uranus. I'm like, fuck you. Anyway, so the D&D instance says, The earth around you mysteriously begins to shake in a violent earthquake. Yeah. So rapid shifts. Really, Scorpio? Are you surprised? Like, really? No, I know you're not surprised. I can feel the eye rolls. Like, fuck, still? Yeah, dude, still. Um, but these are necessary shifts, right? This is a necessary process. Um, and keep in mind also that, let me bring the chart back up. Keep in mind also that as stuff is shifting, as stuff is changing, you're trying to clear the way in this house for the opportunity of expansion that Jupiter will bring, right? This is like this is a potentially a super positive transit. Again, as I was saying at the beginning, if you've done the necessary work here to get ready for this, then this is going to bring tons of opportunities, especially as it crosses over Rahu, and then it joins with Uranus. Big changes, man. Huge changes. It can be a very helpful transit, right? Or you can self sabotage. But the Tower card is encouraging you to keep clearing the way, right? Keep clearing out and release control over the outcome, right? You're not going to know what the outcome is. Um, yep. No one really gets to know what the outcome, what the final outcome, the final destiny and karma really is. You get to discover that. And I think that's a part of the what can be fun about this is if you look at it as more of an adventure, more of a quest, and you don't know 100% what the outcome's going to be. You don't know what the DM's got planned for you, right? You don't know what the universe has got planned for you. But you're here to do your best and to kick ass from the shadows. So release control over the outcome and allow the shifts and the changes that need to take place to take place, because there's going to be expansion and growth there later. But right now, it's about shaking out the stuff that needs to be shaken out. Word. The great DM in the sky. Right? Yep. Libra. Okay, Libra. For you guys, Taurus is your 8th house. So again, really weird, unconventional kind of stuff going down in the 8th house, a house that is a little bit more challenging and difficult to see. Alrighty. So let's see. The Uranus Sun conjunction tomorrow, essentially. Um, in the 8th house, though, so the 8th house has to do with our shared resources and our shared goals. Other people's stuff, right? So this is a great example of a certain kind of transit that you might not see play out in your life, but if you're married or you have a partner, you're likely to see it play out in their life. That's one of the things about the 8th house is sometimes it's super deep psychological stuff in your own life, in your own mind. But it can also just be literally things playing out with other people. So two main kind of possibilities, right? From like an esoteric, internally focused way of looking at this, a Sun Uranus conjunction in the 8th house can be like a major psychological breakthrough. This is like shining a spotlight on something that maybe has been holding you back, and the energy of Uranus is like, all right, we're going to liberate ourselves now from this deep trauma or um this deep betrayal, right? The energy of the eighth house. Um, and it can be using some really weird esoteric science, right? The Uranus. It could be using, any kind of like energy tool or something like that, that can help like assist and catalyze, literally assist and catalyze, the experience. No, no. Mercury turning direct, Mercury stationing direct in this first deck in here. Well, mm, I'm not certain exactly how that would play out on a psychological level, but I can tell you for sure when it comes to your long term planning for resources like your investments, if you have any shared stuff like shared joint accounts, or just literally shared projects that you have with another person, Mercury stationing direct is like, okay, now it's really time to buckle down and make sure that we've got this planned out, that we are all on the same page, that we all know what the plan is going forward, right? So if there's somebody that you need to have a conversation with specifically about something shared that you got going on, do it now. Do it now. Um, yeah. Yeah, I would say like because this is a financial axis for you, Libra. Um, as far as like literally your finances go, if you have any debts to pay off, try to get them paid down before Jupiter moves into here. Like if you have anything that's owed, do your best to plan out responsibly how you're going to deal with that. Um, and then I personally I would recommend speaking to somebody that is actually really knowledgeable on like tax matters and stuff like that, so that you can get the most, like I said, bang for your buck when it comes to getting tax returns and shit like that. But love you, FSC. Let's see what else. I think that's all the mundane stuff that I can think of off the top of my head. So we'll pull some cards for Libra. I don't know. I guess I would also say when it comes to maintaining our psychological health, because Mercury's stationing in this deck and that's all about this relationship between planning and coasting, like having the abundance, but also making sure that we are planning for the future for when we don't have that abundance. Um, Keeping up with practices that help us maintain a healthy mind, and help us to you know, process trauma. Since we're talking about the eighth house, body mind linking practices, super important. So if there's anything like that Libra you have like fallen back on, you haven't been doing, I know that kind of sounds like a sixth house thing, but we are talking about Mercury, right? And we are talking about Taurus in the eighth house of deep psychological shit. So literally using body based practices can help you process stuff that's weighing on you psychologically. So anyway, that's what I got to say about that. So what do we got for a card for Libra? Whoa. Okay, just one, please. It's too many. There it is. Boom. Okay. Ah, the Page of Intelligence. Ooh. So Page of Intelligence in a traditional deck, this is the Page of Swords. That's kind of cool. Um, she's got like this little dragon, but it's like a steam powered robot dragon. Okay. So the page of I'll come back. I scrolled past it. Oops. Okay, the page of intelligence. Discovering new ways of communicating your ideas and putting them into action. So that's cool. A wizard wants you to find her some rare spell components. Ooh. I need some Eye of Newt and fairy dust, please. Yeah. I actually really like that for you guys, Libra. This can be about finding new ways to literally communicate your needs with a partner, and talk about how you can balance out their needs and your needs. Since we're talking about the eighth house, so what are your goals? What are your priorities? And how can you work with somebody else to balance that out, and finding middle ground, win-win situations. So get creative with it, basically. Oh, more fucking trolls. Love to see it. There we go. Okay. Do 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 do. Thank you, Libra. Yeah, today felt like a really good day for meditation. All right, Virgo. Da-na-na-na-na. So Virgo, for you, this is a ninth house transit. So this is kind of cool. Ninth house is fun. There's some astrologers actually that link the ninth house to like themes of luck, and just blessings in general. So kind of cool, interesting thought. How I learned it is the ninth house is the temple or the university that you study in. So in order to do the Virgo path of service, the path of the path of service, the path of the sacred work, you have to study in the temple of embodiment, the temple of nature, natural beauty. Yep. Kind of fun. Okay, so anyway, ninth house. This Uranus Sun conjunction, super interesting. Ninth house has been associated with divination as well. Would not be shocked in the slightest if you had some kind of major insight through divination, or even a new way to think about, or a totally new divination system that you think of. So really cool. And again, this is something that you're going to use to liberate yourself, to help liberate others, maybe. As involving the 12th house ruler, that's interesting. Got to sit with that one a little bit. Yeah, this is like an even more it's actually a really really highly spiritual transit. First of all, the sun is considered to be in its joy in the ninth house. It loves the ninth house. So it's a powerful sun. In the grounded and embodied sign of Taurus, so all about beauty and fertility and all of those things, finding beauty all around you. The conjunction with Uranus brings this unusual and unpredictable energy, but again, it's about liberation. It's about freeing yourself. So perhaps, since it's the ninth house, it's about freeing yourself from some old belief system, right? Or from beliefs that have been taught to you or programmed from a really young age, perhaps. And since Mercury is your ruling planet, actually, it stationing direct is a much bigger deal. since it literally describes you. It is literally you. So this is you going back over old beliefs, right? And then sudden major insight, perhaps through divination, perhaps not. Perhaps it comes from a teacher or someone that you look up to, right? And then planning how you're going to in the future either continue to learn from these insights, right? You could literally be um, finding some way to integrate it and embody it, but maybe even looking for somebody to help teach you a little bit more, right? To deepen your knowledge in some area. Um, yeah, and just you're planning out how to carry this energy into the future, right? So really cool, really beautiful transit. Keep in mind Jupiter's going to come in here and really expand all of these things. So just be mindful about the seeds that you're planting. What kind of beliefs do you want to carry forward for yourself? What kind of beliefs do you want to see grow? Right? Oh, what's up, Mel? You literally came at perfect timing. Yeah, totally, dude. You can DM me, JLo. Whoa. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so Virgo, what card do we got for you from the magical DM or yeah, from a magical DM. Oh my god, for real though. Mm. All right, so this came out right away. Uh, up until Virgo, I was doing just one card, but you guys got two, so I'm letting it slide. You got the Eight of Intelligence and the High Priestess. So Eight of Intelligence and the High Priestess. So I'm gonna tell you right now, the Eight of Intelligence is about needing to free yourself from some thought process that has been holding you back. So the book says, untangling ourselves from guilty thoughts and self punishment. Ooh, that's a good one. All right. And then the High Priestess is learning some secrets of the universe. Let me tell you what. Tapping into your own intuition, right? Accessing your intuition and tuning into the source of that feminine power. That's fun. Okay, so the D&D instances are a nearby village has been invaded by the drow and seeks aid. Dun dun dun. And for the high priestess, I think this is really appropriate for that ninth house, that whole ninth house thing going on for you. Okay, you encounter a holy woman who offers you each a gift. Yeah, these are fun, right? Like you could design a whole campaign around a tarot spread, right? And then like have it mean something at the same time. It's crazy. So Logan says, big one for me lately has been getting rid of a belief that I don't have a high income. Ooh, interesting. Logan, buddy. Yeah. The whole abundance mentality and lack mentality thing. That's huge. And what an appropriate topic for Taurus. One thing that helps me kind of reorient myself around that is like how many different kinds of capital do I have, and like taking an inventory can be super helpful. So there's more than just like fiat income, right? There's more than just silver and gold for capital, right? There's cultural capital. There's intelligence and wisdom. I'm just gonna name D&D stats, but seriously, like you have knowledge and skills, and that is a form of capital, right? Your labor is a form of capital. your ability to contribute to the culture through poetry and music and artwork is a form of capital. Um, yeah, exactly. It's a different form of currency. It's just uh or there are other forms of currency, right? It's not just fiat currency. There's more. Um so yeah, that's a big one. I really like that. That's a big one. I'm cautious to link I'm cautious about linking Taurus specifically to um only finances and only income and only currency because it's not the second house for everybody. So, yeah, but still, really important idea, really beautiful. And at the same time, as much as I am cautious about linking Taurus to second house stuff, it is about the physical reality, right? And it does talk about tangible things. So there's that. Yeah. Leo. All right, so Leo rising. So if you are a Leo rising, Taurus is your 10th house. So for you guys, we are talking about career and your reach, right? How you are perceived by the public, career stuff, that kind of thing. Uranus moving through here and the eclipses moving through here have been, for some of you, I would use the word destabilizing, but not necessarily everybody. Um, but still, so Sun Uranus conjunction today, tomorrow, can potentially bring some really unusual events. All right, so you are the sun. All right, sun is you. Um, so all of the sun's transits and anything that's happening to your natal sun is important. So anyway, um, and this being in a house that squares your rising sun, it's more likely to play out in a big way. So anyway, I really feel like for you guys, like, what is your relationship with authority figures, right? The 10th and the 4th house represent our parents in a literal sense. The 10th house is often authority figures as well. And the first authority figures that we have are parents, right? So it makes sense why that connection, right? Uranus here, conjunction with the sun. This is just another seed being planted about individuating away from authority figures or away from needing external authority figures, right? There's that energy of individuation with Uranus and liberating the self. Yeah, so definitely something to chew on, something to think about. You might even actually meet somebody through your work, through your career, or meet somebody that can assist you with your work and with your career in a really unusual, unconventional way. Now, Mercury stationing right here in this first decan. These are seeds being planted about what you want to do with your career. How do you want that to grow? Are you okay with what you're doing now? If you're not okay with what you're doing now, or you think you could get more, right? Think you could achieve more, think you could make a bigger impact, right? Leo, I know you want to make a big impact. I know you want to make a big impact. So what kinds of things could be put into motion and kind of started that are going to become bigger and grow with time, right? This is the thing about Taurus, is this is not a quick house. It's not a fast sign. The sun is literally slowing down as it's moving through Taurus, right? It's fastest right here, speeding up, equinox really fast, and then as it's moving through here, it's literally slowing down in Taurus. It's literally slowing down in Scorpio. So anyway, things to think about. These seeds are not necessarily going to grow overnight, but they will grow. There is that promise. They will grow. especially as Jupiter moves through here and brings this super fertilizing, abundant energy with it, right? So there's opportunities opening up for you in career. Some of them are unusual. Some of them are going to take you out of your comfort zone. Some of them are going to make you question maybe how you're showing up in the world. But still, plant those seeds anyway, right? I encourage you to get out of your comfort zone. I encourage you to embrace the cringe, embrace the weirdness. Yeah. Leo. Yeah, exactly. Chance, you're awesome. Keep being you. But yeah, so keep your eyes peeled for different and unusual opportunities and for things to be presented to you. You don't always have to take them, right? That's the whole key word there of opportunity. It's not a guarantee when Jupiter moves into the sun. It's an opportunity. But right now, the opportunity is be planting seeds, right? Be starting things that you want to see grow in your career. And if you have any kind of stuff that needs to be cleared away or needs to be worked on specifically with your relationship with authority figures or with taking responsibility, because these things are tied, right? Your relationship with authority figures is ultimately seated in your relationship with your parents, right? So if you struggle with these topics, there's something there to work through. And how you feel about authority figures and taking responsibility, these are 10th house themes, is also directly related to that. So depending on where you are in that particular part of the journey, that'll give you some clues about what needs to be kind of addressed and worked on. What's up, Amber? All right, Leo, what do we got for you? Oh, we got the 10 of Wisdom, ton of cups, all cups cards. So that's okay though. Okay, so 10 of Wisdom. That is some powerful Kundalini activation artwork going on right there. You see that dragon going up behind her? Her whatever it is. And then like it's not a tesseract, but this tesseract looking kind of geometrical design right in front of her heart chakra. That's fascinating. This artwork is so cool. Okay, it's a 10 of Wisdom. So traditional deck, this is the 10 of Cups. So it is saying uniting the head and the heart. Actually, how perfect for a 10th house mega transit. Love it. Relating to others and your environment in emotional balance. That's really cool. Ooh, the D&D instance. The party comes across a magical portal within a ring of standing stones. Are you going to enter the portal, Leo? Who am I kidding? Of course you are. Enter the portal, Leo. Do it, do it, do it, do it. Do it. Okay. Cancer. So Cancer. Okay, sorry. So for Cancer, for you guys, this is happening in the 11th house. Now, 11th house, this has to do with our long-term goals, dreams, wishes, the rewards that we receive from our efforts in our career. And it has a lot to do with our wider social network and the groups that we belong to. Now, Uranus and Sun meeting up in the 11th house can really bring to question, like, okay, what kind of groups do we belong with right now? What kind of okay, first of all, if you're Cancer rising, I would not be surprised to see you networking with people that are interested in alternative forms of all of the things, right? Like, for example, my little sister, Cancer rising, Libra sun, a bunch of other shit. But anyway, Cancer rising, all of the career moves that she's made in the past little while have been specifically to get her closer to different groups that are interested in regenerative agriculture, that are interested in permaculture, that are interested in food forest stuff. Like that has been a huge focus for her. And literally every career move that she's had has brought her closer to these groups, to working really closely with the people that align with those values of like abundance and creating abundance, and the fact that nature is extremely abundant when given the right conditions, right? All of that stuff. So would not be shocked. And also, a big theme that's come up from the past 3 years is how can I use these things to help myself be more free, right? That's the Uranus energy coming in there. So that Sun Uranus meetup in the 11th house, this can really be just highlighting, could bring a really interesting opportunity for Cancer rising, to be like, oh, okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is what I need. I need more of this. This is going to help me feel more free and be more of a complete individual, I would say. Uranus stationing direct. So Uranus stationing, sorry, not Uranus. Oh my gosh, Mercury. Sorry, Mercury stationing direct. Since 11th house is our long-term plans, and since this is inherently a decan about planning things, I'm going to say that some of your long-term plans have gone through a little bit of not necessarily like a reconstruction process, but more like you've been really looking at some of what were your dreams like 10 years ago? What was your dream 15, 20 years ago? You know, what are some old ones? And do you still align with those dreams? And can you put into motion different things to get you closer to that dream, closer to that goal? What's up, Evil Fandango? Happy Monday. I'm playing with a new deck today. It's fucking sweet. Okay. Yeah, that's what I got to say for Cancer. Also, Cancer, please enjoy this Venus in the first house transit. I really hope that this helps bring some soothing and some calming energy to you after this potentially frustrating Mars energy. Okay, so you guys that just popped in, I got a new tarot deck. It is a D&D tarot deck. It is the freaking best thing ever. It's the best. It's actually really gorgeous artwork, so I've been playing with that today. So anyway, Cancer, what do we got for you? Whoa, okay, that was a lot. You guys, chill out a little. Logan, yeah, fair enough. Word. Yeah, and that's the kind of a cool thing about like a Mercury retrograde through the 11th house. Like, what about your own values and desires and goals right now has changed to where that isn't an appealing thing anymore? Right? How have you changed, and how have your current goals changed because of that? And like, what was the original intention behind wanting to be a cop? Right? Was it to help people? Right? I think that's what most little boys are probably thinking, to fight bad guys, to be the hero. I don't know. Um, so that could be something that you could reflect on and think about. Okay, so Cancer. Oh, Cancer. Fun. Okay, Cancer, you got the Seven of Intelligence. This in traditional decks is the Seven of Swords. So who the heck is that masked figure? Huh? Looks like he's got an offer that you can't refuse. Or something. He's wearing some fancy ass shoes. Okay. Alright, so the Seven of Intelligence. how we play games, hide our real selves, and mask our true intentions out of fear or hurt. Ooh, Cancer. I know the art style is so beautiful. It's really pretty. Um, it's like it's not. It's a little bit cheesy because it's D&D, but it's not like so cheesy that I can't jive with it. You know. Okay, so but really, with Cancer, if you're not being authentic about your own feelings or authentic about your real goals, how are you ever going to achieve them? And how are you going to actually find the tribe that you want to vibe with if you're not being authentic about your own vibe, right? This is a literally a perfect card for this kind of a transit, right? This Uranus Sun meetup in the 11th house um is really encouraging you to be as authentic as you possibly can be about your real self, your real goals, um and how you want your world to look with other people. Um so that's a huge theme. Huge theme. Okay, so the D&D instance says a doppelganger has infiltrated the king's court and the king seeks someone who can root him out. Yo. Interesting. Isn't that fun? So, where's the one that's wearing a false mask? Can you find them? Um, and is it you? Yep. Okay. I hope you guys are having fun with the D&D deck. I am. I think it's hilarious. Um, it's cracking me up how like the instances that are based on the card like kind of make sense with the theme of the card, right? It's neat. Okay, so Gemini. Gemini. All right, so for you guys, this is a 12th house transit. So this vastly uh I don't know, I almost used the word crazy, but this vastly crazy, I guess, this vastly interesting and unpredictable insight and awareness is most likely going to play out through your dreams. I can actually see this being you gaining some really potent awareness into some kind of habit or thing or self sabotaging behavior that you have, 12th house, right? And how you can break free from that thing, Uranus. So, super interesting how this can play out and what it can assist you with if you want to use that energy consciously. Now, Mercury, since Mercury is your ruling planet, it stationing and turning direct in the 12th house is another really helpful thing, I feel. So, again, if there's been anything that you've been doing that has been less than helpful, right? If you've got some kind of habit, literally everything that I just said, if you've got something going on that is holding you back or some kind of subconscious fears surfacing, Mercury stationing direct can be like, okay, what kinds of things can I incorporate now to help me deal with those, to process those? And sometimes, actually, when we have a lot of stuff going on in a really difficult house, it can be really helpful to go to the opposite house and ground down there and focus on this a little bit, and they help balance each other out. Okay, so because this axis, the 12th, 6th axis, is about mental, spiritual, emotional health and our physical health, doing something with your routine, changing up aspects of your routine, and really focusing on this area can really help you balance out the unusual, weird, unpredictable stuff going on here. Uh, so that's fun. Um, I could also see this being a really beautiful opportunity for you to reconnect through meditation to your own higher self. Reconnect slash connect, both can be true. Um, I gotta scroll back. What's up? Mm. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? I could just hear in my head, heretic, the sacrilege. Yeah, that's yeah. I'm sure they have Christmas tarot. That's so funny. I have got like huge resistance to that. I'm like, fuck that. but but that's me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Logan, 100%. Roll up some mugwort. Great advice, Gemini. Use an herb like mugwort. Um, if you need the assistance with working through stuff in your dreams. That would be a really funny tower card, actually. That's good. I like it. Ugh, that's so funny. The tower is a huge Christmas tree at the mall, like falling over. Yep. All right, Gemini. All right, so what do you got for cards? Mm. All right, there you go. Now you guys have homework. Design a Christmas tarot deck. Ooh, Gemini, you got the chariot. What is he holding? Looks like a rat. I know this is probably like an actual a character from something. I have no idea. But anyway, the chariot. So let's see what the book says about the chariot. The chariot is about victory. The victory of the light. So the book says following through on your intentions and manifesting your desires. I like that. Yep. So often with this chariot energy, we're trying to take two kind of conflicting ideas or two conflicting energies and having them work together towards the same goal. So it's kind of fun. Then what would the star be? Right? Because the star is next after the tower. What would that one be? Anyway, that's really cool. Okay, so the instance for this card for you, Gemini, says you find a trapped Ifrit. I don't know what an Ifrit is, so you're gonna have to look that up. Who offers you his services for a year if you can find a way to free him. Maybe the little rat thing is the Ifrit. Offers you his services for a year if you can find a way to free him. That's fun. I like that. Dream into that. Dream into that. The fool can be Will Ferrell as an elf. Word. Uh, and a Efreet is a fire demon. Ooh, I don't know. I need some D&D nerds. Where's my D&D nerds at? Help! Help! I mean, I could Google it really quick. Um, but it'd be more fun if one of you do. One of you does. Anyway, I like that the chariot's coming out for you, Gemini. It's a victorious energy. It is literally about conquering something. Um, and I feel like as long as you apply yourself and you bring some conscious light and some gentleness, right? There's some big things that you can be conquering in your own subconscious, right? Really cool. Okay, fine. I'll Google it. My phone's like way over there. Yeah, fire demon thingy jiggy. Powerful type of demon in Islamic culture. And Afarit are often associated with the underworld and identified with spirits of the dead and have been compared to evil genie in European culture. It's from the Forgotten Realms as well. A genie native to the elemental plane of fire, so it's an elemental fire genie thing, basically. Well then, would you accept those services if you freed them? I don't know, that sounds kind of fun and dangerous. Gemini is trickstery enough that they could figure out a way. Um, they could figure out a way. I believe in you, Gemini. You can do it. Okay. Taurus. Taurus. All this fun, weird, crazy energy is happening in your first house. Yeah. Yeah. Good for you. Um uh yep. Yep. Careful. Careful, Gemini. We're dealing with 12th house stuff, right? Be careful. Interesting. Okay, so anyway, Taurus. All this stuff's happening in your first house. Let me change this to Taurus. Do 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 do. All right. So, how are you doing, Taurus? Similar to Scorpio, you've had a lot of major changes that have been happening in your life. Um, First house eclipses and major first house transits can play out in literally every area of life, right? The first house is your body. The first house is the themes and the archetypes that you're learning to embody in this lifetime. Some of the biggest lessons have a Taurian theme, right? And this is some pretty big shakeups, some pretty big shifts, some monumental turns in your life have occurred. So now this the Sun Uranus conjunction in the second decan of Taurus at 18 degrees and 50 odd minutes. Um, this is really definitely going to be about how you express yourself in an authentic way, and if you can. If you can, and actually, it will be really encouraging you to do exactly that. So, kind of interesting, Kay. The sun rules your fourth house. So, sun just on its own is usually about like consciousness. A little bit of our ego is involved with the sun. Our ideals of how we see ourselves, right? And having the sun moving through your first house, and then going over this weird and unusual Uranian energy can be like um, trying to incorporate something really weird and unusual about yourself. Um, I don't know why that word incorporation and integration keeps coming up. Maybe it's the Mercury stuff. But anyway, we're incorporating something weird about ourselves, or even learning to accept something weird about ourselves. Right, embracing the cringe. That's another another turn of phrase that keeps coming to mind. Um, so uh, Taurus is all about embodying what is natural and beautiful. It's all about embodying this sensual, um, embracing physical reality, really. Um, and just going to validate for you guys having this Uranus energy in here with the eclipses and the Saturn square. It's been a challenge to be in your body, right? It's probably been a bit of a challenge. Um, this can be potentially destabilizing, but also potentially really anchoring in a totally different way. Since the sun rules your fourth house, it's almost like the it's I don't know, it's kind of like you have the chance to throw off some chains, right? Something about your own self-concept, something about um how you view yourself or how you think others should view you is you're bringing some awareness to that right now. And it's like, okay, I don't actually care about what you think about this little thing that I do, or or this way that I carry myself, or um anything like that. And this can also be like working on something to do with your physical self, maybe your health. Um yeah, something in that is helping you liberate yourself in some way. So that's kind of cool. The Mercury retrograde and then the Mercury stationing, right? Was Mercury stations on this 5 degrees and change here in the first decan. I want you, Taurus risings, to be thinking about what are the next, let's say, 3 years of your life going to look like. I picked three because we're talking about Mercury, Hermes Trismegistus, Trismegistus, whatever the fuck, however you say that, the thrice great. So think about the next 3 years, for example. Um, what are your plans? What do you want to do? Um, and I'm sure that a lot of those plans have changed probably dramatically in the last few years. That's okay. This Mercury retrograde and Mercury stationing now is just kind of a chance to reorient yourself. What do you want to do now, right? Where do you want to go with it now? Um, since this decan is all about planning, right? Hopefully you are getting ready for this Jupiter transit, right? Um, whatever seeds you're planting now, whatever you're changing about yourself, it will be watered and it will grow. Okay, there will be opportunities to continue to grow. Um, and when Jupiter finally moves in here, there will be probably some really interesting chance encounters with um, new people. Okay, so just keep that in mind, right? Anything you're releasing and letting go of, you're making space for something new to come in. Um, so I'm sure a lot about your own self concept has changed dramatically, and that's okay. Um, now, what do you want to see in your life, right? What are you planning? Um, yeah, what about your life do you want to grow right now? J Lo. Oh man, what's up, Gordy? Welcome back. Yeah, I've actually never had kefir. I need to do that. All right, so Taurus, what do we got for cards for ya? Cards. A funny Eastern accent thing going on. I don't know where that came from. Smells off but tastes good. Fair enough. I like I like fermented things. So that's not the issue. I like stuff that's fermented. All right, so Taurus, you got the Page of Wisdom. More wisdom stuff, more cup stuff. So this is the Page of Cups in a traditional deck. Dun, 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 dun. Page of Wisdom. Embarking on a new path sparked by your curiosity and creativity. How fucking literally perfect is that? But seriously, how literally perfect is that for all of this stuff happening in your first house, Taurus? That's huge. Um, you are beginning a totally new phase. Yeah, wisdom's painful to gain, right? To gain, sure. But once you've got that wisdom, it helps you avoid pain. Anyway, new journeys await. A new path awaits. Hopefully you're taking a little bit of time to plan some stuff. And you know what? Maybe that's the wisdom key here. Maybe that's the piece of wisdom that you need to pay attention to. Spontaneity is great. Spontaneity is fun. But making sure you have some snacks for the road, super helpful. Super helpful. So, yeah. What's up, Sevens? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, dude. Yes, exactly. Oh, I love the art from Magic the Gathering. I did a cosplay once that was Magic the Gathering. It was the best. I was Guruk, but I was a female Guruk. I gender bended Guruk. It was pretty sick. Um. Okay. Aries. Last but not least, you guys are learning how much of a fucking nerd I am now. Yep. Surprise. Huge nerd. Okay, so Aries. So for you guys, Taurus is your second house. So all this fun and activities happening in your financial house. Finances, but also value and valuables. Okay. So fascinating how this second house works out. I'm flabbergasted. But okay, so anyway, Sun Uranus conjunction. Let's start there, right? So how can you use your own resources, right? And like I said earlier, unless you didn't tune into that, there are way more than one or two forms of capital. There's at least 8, right? It's not just about gold and silver or petrol-based fiat or digital currency. There's your labor. There's your skills. There's your contributions to culture. There's your of course, there is like literal physical capital, um, like gold and silver, but also there's now I'm blanking. I'm blanking on the other forms of capital, but you get my drift, right? There's so much more that you can share with people that you can grow, right? Second house, speaking of growing, also has to do with like the food that we put into our mouth. The physical things, our physical needs that support our body. Okay, so this is why it's a financial house. It's actually a food house, but how do you get food? You grow it or you purchase it. Oh, okay. Yep. That's a I've only ever seen people play Commander. It's an interesting one. Nature rich, cash poor. Me and you both, buddy. I've got a ton of seeds I can trade, okay? Yep. Okay, so anyway, these are things to think about. What other resources do you have that you are super abundant in? And how can those resources assist you with freedom, with liberating yourself, with breaking the chains of something? And maybe actually this is you creatively. Leo is your fifth house, therefore Sun rules the fifth house. How can you creatively break free from some limiting factor or limiting belief specifically around your finances, right? That's one way to look at this. Now, Mercury stationing, quite literally, this could be okay, I've got a budget now. I'm going to stick to my budget. This is the plan, right? If I save this much each month, this is the big thing that I can do down the road that I want to accomplish for myself, right? That is the most basic, simplest way to explain what exactly this transit is. If I invest here, here, and here, these are guaranteed to grow. This one's more volatile. This one's a little more risky. This one is a little more stable. And this is how it's most likely to play out for me in the future, right? And of course, um, I wouldn't be surprised if you're making some really potentially really risky moves with finances right now, considering the Lord of the Fifth, which is about literally risk and games and gambling, is with Uranus, which is a super unpredictable, crazy, innovative, technologically advanced planet in the second house of finances and resources. And then Mercury retrograde has just been like really thinking about how to maximize this energy, how to maximize your profit, or how to maximize your yield, right? How to maximize your yield, whatever it is that you're planting, right? I'm using finances because it's the easiest thing to relate it to, but yeah, so lots to think about, Aries. Now, um, the deeper layer of the second house is our self-worth. Okay. So how we feel about ourselves is often tied to how much we are willing to demand for our work, how much we're willing to demand for our time, and whether we even feel like we're worth investing in, right? And again, I'm using financial terms, but I mean like time as well, like investing time into people or having people teach us stuff, right? So things to think about for you, Aries. What kind of seeds do you want to plant right now as far as like improving your own self-worth go that you want to see grow? What kinds of activities can you be doing? Maybe what kind of artwork maybe do you want to do that can help you really like solidify some of these values that you have that you want to see grow and see expand. That's a way you can work with the sun energy in the second house. Yeah, and you're getting ready for Jupiter to move into your second house, which is traditionally speaking largely very helpful for finances in general. So yeah, sevens exactly. Being intentional with what you're feeding yourself, what you're growing for yourself, what you're purchasing with your money, what you are, how you're using that particular measure of your own energy, your own currency. And yeah, exactly. How are you going to utilize those resources in creative ways? That was a really good way to sum it up. Thanks, buddy. That was good. Okay. And a D&D card for Aries. What do we got for you? Page of Wisdom again. I mean, I'll accept it, but I want something different too, so I'm going to grab a different one. Another card. Some diversified stocks. Word. Are you an Aries rising? I forget. Yeah, like if personally, this is not financial advice. I know I'm an idiot. Okay, don't listen to me. But if I had the money, I would invest in gold right now before Jupiter moves into Taurus. Just saying. Come on, I want another card for Aries. Okay, I'm just gonna pull one. Haha. Okay. Okay, so we got Page of Wisdom. Again, but also I pulled the King of Charisma. Clearly a bard. So Page of Wisdom. So embarking on a new path sparked by your curiosity and creativity. Standard. Oh, yes. Jupiter moves into Taurus on the 16th of May. And then we'll be joining with the North Node, which gives this like hungry and obsessive drive and energy towards all things Jupiter. And Jupiter is often associated with wealth and growing wealth. In Taurus, tangible physical assets. Yeah. So definitely I would invest in metals. Um, okay, and then the King of Charisma. You're welcome. King of Charisma. There it is. Reaping the fruits of your endeavors, enjoying abundance while not getting lost in acquiring. Yeah, that's the thing. This North Node in the second house energy, I just mentioned the word obsessive, right? This hungry, obsessive drive. For you, Aries, it would be important to not get lost in the obsessive and hungry nature of that North Node in the second house, right? So don't get so wrapped up and so obsessed about acquiring more and more and more that you turn into a hungry dragon. Okay. So, is there a bard in the party? The king is having a ball and the entertainment has not shown up. Lucky you. Lucky you. Well, would that not be a very fun opportunity, huh? It's like, okay, I've been practicing these skills. I've been working on these skills. I am possibly not qualified, but there's an opportunity for me to step into a different role, a different thing, something when actually it's the same role that I've been practicing and doing this entire time. It's just that it's a somebody with authority, somebody that is in a high position is asking me if I want to do it. Um, jump for it, Aries. Do it. That sounds exciting. Um, enjoy the opportunity and roll with that opportunity. Oh, I didn't. Oh my gosh. I didn't. I gotta read this other one. Okay, the page of wisdom says, a man staggering towards you. A man staggers towards you and hands you a silver key. He gasps, find the fish, before falling over dead. He smells of brine. What? Adventure awaits, Aries. What are you gonna do with it? Are you going to embark on that adventure, or are you gonna hold yourself back? Aries won't hold themselves back. Aries will go for it. But I gotta say it. Alright, well that was fun. Thanks for playing with me with my new deck. Appreciate that. Okay. Let me just grab my phone real quick. Just want to make sure if there was anybody that wanted a personal reading that I didn't miss them. I know that's quite the quest. Find the fish. Okay, I don't see any emails. That's cool. Uh, yeah. So if anybody wants me to do a personal reading with the D&D deck, I'll tell you your new quest. I'm down. And if not, then I'm gonna go do some other stuff with my afternoon. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I hope that this week is well, you know, we're quite likely to see more of the eclipse stuff continue to play out. So there's that, right? There's still this emotional intensity. Um yeah, exactly. Totally. Sevens, you do that all the time. So I think you're actually a real life bard. I'm sure of it. Okay. But anyway, we're quite likely to continue to see some of the emotional intensity of that eclipse continue to play out for a little bit, right? Um, it's not like it's just a 1 day event and it's over. So just keep that in mind. But there's lots of positive things to look forward to as well, right? Venus now in the sign of Cancer. This is bringing a nice soothing and calming balm with an M, not a B. Balm, BALM. God damn it, Chance. Also, the Mercury stationing is like this area of our life, this Taurus area is definitely going to be moving forward now. So, um, and then with this crazy boost from Uranus, really interesting. I think I just saw a mother bleeping snowflake. God damn it. That's Calgary for you. Um, And yeah, Jupiter moving into Taurus next week on the 16th. That's going to be fun. So that'll be a big topic of uh next week's broadcast. We'll also be talking about the new moon in Taurus. And what else? Mars is changing signs. Okay, so next week's kind of a big week. Lots of stuff happening, so I'll probably end up doing multiple streams to talk about some of those transits, so I don't feel like I'm being rushed to try and fit everything into one stream. And yeah. By the way, until the 20th of May, I have another discount code. So if you want to do a natal chart reading with me, or you want to come back for a second reading to look at specific transits, or to dive into like the decans that your ascendant is in, or your ruling planet, or your moon, or your sun, or any like literally anything like that, or you want to look at the cycle that your Mercury is in, like there's so many different things that we can do with the birth chart. Use the code Taurus 23, so Taurus 23, for $22 off actually. Okay. Yeah, I know. Good news, everybody. Multiple streams. It's fun for me too, right? So, alrighty. Have a lovely day. I'll see you guys later. And find the fish. Oh, no. Okay. Yep. Gematria is coming out. Yep. Alrighty. See you guys later.